I am James Howell. Welcome to the Deltahead stream. First time in a while. Again, as it says in the bio, got a new kiddo, so schedules are reconfiguring around that fantastic little life, and streaming as available. So, tonight we're going to do part 1 of Legacy of Kain, Defiance, which will be the start of the end of the run-through of the Soul Reaver trilogy. I include Defiance as part of the Soul Reaver trilogy because it's Raziel focused. Even though no Windows 10, I don't want to back up now. Why would you ever think I would want to do that? I consider it part of the sort of like Soul Reaver trilogy because it kind of brings Raziel's story to a close and has a kind of cadence there. Evening, Space Hamlet. Yes, I imagine it is a late night because you are 3 hours ahead of me. So, good morning to you. Real quick pre-game show here. Kind of inexplicably, and I'm very happy to see this, I've gotten follower notifications of folks over the past, I want to say 20 days, which is remarkable and surprising considering I haven't been streaming during that time. So for anybody who is watching, who has joined during that time, thank you very much. Quick pre-game show since I've got till about 11 o'clock that I got to punch out here. I've been doing a lot of reading over the past several days, so just to kind of do a quick overview of that. Read Douglas Adams' Salmon of Doubt, which was excellent and got me in the mood to kind of do a deep dive into him, so I reacquired, I don't know what happened to my old copy of that, but I got Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, and this is a really fun read. It's so good to see absurd, light philosophical comedy in a sci-fi science fantasy kind of setting. I think that's probably what I would call it. Evening, Peacher. It's good to see you. And along with that, I got this, Wish You Were Here, which is Douglas Adams and A.A. Milne are the two writers that got me into writing as well. So we're brothers in that. This is written by Nick Webb. This is a biography that was written, I think, fairly shortly after Adams died, and it is engaging. The writer's a little opinionated. There's a biography of Edward Gorey written by a friend of his that seems to lean a little more on the charisma of the biographer than on the kind of research that I'm used to for historical figures that are being written about by people who did not know them. So I got a competing biography by somebody, I forget what her name is, but the title is Froude, which of course comes from Imagine the Future with a Boot. No, a sneaker. Well, actually, that's kind of appropriate that you bring up Good Omens, because the third biography of Doug Adams, there are 3 of them, I think, out there. This is one of them. The other one was actually written by Neil Gaiman. Gaiman wrote, I think, probably what would probably be a creative biography of Douglas Adams, since they're very close. Pratchett, Gaiman, and Adams are kind of a cluster of writers in the same sort of creative neighborhood. This has some of the problems of a biography that's written by somebody who knew the subject and was close to them. There are certain topics that are kept at arm's length and not delved into out of respect for the recently living, and that is a completely human, understandable, and sympathetic thing to do, and also makes for a less complete biography. And that's kind of the devilish aspect of that genre of writing. So Froude, I think, is written by somebody who knew him less well, and I think might actually might be more about who Adams was and kind of how he developed, and less about what it was like to know him, which is what I kind of feel like this book is kind of hitting closer on. In the spirit of that, I also got Starship Titanic, which is the second video game that Douglas Adams made, the first one being the nearly impossible-to-beat Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy text game. And Starship Titanic is available on Steam for like $5. The official strategy guide is available on Amazon for also $5. So for like $10, you can get the full print strategy guide with interviews from the development team and everything like that. Yeah, I know, it's absolute stream fodder. I think once I do a playthrough of it, I kind of want to do this with Hitchhiker's Guide too. I want to do a playthrough of it, find the right way to go through it, and then stream that. The only downside with doing that with Hitchhiker's Guide is so much of the fun and the flavor of that game comes from the death sequences, which was one of the reasons why it makes it kind of impossible to beat, because there are so many of them. It's so hard to kind of hit all the right beats, and even if you know the right direction to take the story in, to kind of like know the right verbs and everything, because it is timed in terms of moves, and if you don't do the right thing within the right period of time, there's just not a whole lot of wiggle room there. And yeah, so Adams actually has a lot of really neat stuff to write about interactive fiction in The Salmon of Doubt, being a sort of consumer tech futurist. So, but yeah, this is a good read too, and yeah, so I've got two more Adams books on the way. I've got the Froude biography, and I've got The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul. The Dirk Gently books are very close to my heart. They're right up there with the first three Hitchhiker's books in terms of sort of kind of energy and dynamism. So Long and Thanks for All the Fish are good, and so is Mostly Harmless. Those are both good, but he can kind of feel that he's getting a little tired of it at that point. Beyond that, I found that I have a prose translation of Ovid's Metamorphosis, which I've been enjoying going through. Making actually more headway on this than the poetic version. I'm actually in book 3 now, and that's very gratifying since I've been chipping away at this for about 8 to 9 years now. Cockatrice and Lamprey Hay, which is a Middle English, let's see if I can show you there, Middle English cookbook, and it has recipes for the kinds of specialty dishes that were made back in the day with modern English translations. And it does have a recipe for cockatrice, which is a pig. You take a pig, cut out the middle part, you attach the head to the body of a chicken. It's kind of like a turducken, except rather than putting things inside other things, you stitch them together into a single creature. Yeah, so a lot of culinary creativity there. And yeah, one of the recipes in here, I put this on my Twitter, which is just an absolutely... Just like the first sentences of all of these recipes are just magnificent. One of them is just straight up slay a swan. And this one, let's see, yeah, the first line of cockatrice, scalde a pig clean. Scald a pig clean. Take off the head, quarter him on faura. Take off the head, quarter it into 4 pieces. And tak a cook, scalde him, draw him, quarter him on faura, which is take a cock, scald it, draw it, quarter it into 4 pieces. And yeah, so this is a book that is very fun to read out loud, as much Middle English is. And also to beef up my other media that I am literate on, finally got around to this textbook that I had from undergrad back in 1998, and found this children's book, In Search of the Sandman, which is never saw a reprint and is absolutely delightful and lovely, and has these fantastic illustrations of other planets. You can see there's this guy here with these sunglasses, cyberpunk-esque, alongside these very large sentinel beings, and a very large bird stealing a spaceship. So yeah, this is very, very early 80s with the sort of like the late 70s version of the 80s. So, yeah, that brings us to time. So I'm going to, again, we've got like about an hour and 15 minutes, so we're going to try and get through as much of Defiance as we can, while not rushing it too much, because rushing isn't really a good time. But yeah, let's get started. Oh. And yes, the box ship is lovely. Controller. And in the meanwhile, I've also been playing Fallout 4 and have been constructing a character that is aggressively a dad. His first name is Payne, P-A-Y-N-E, last name Bills, so he's a dad, so he's Payne Bills. His first weapon is called the Provider. Second weapon I got is, it's an energy weapon, so I call it the Thermostat, because, only Dad can touch the thermostat. The other energy weapon is called Wear a Sweater, because, if you're cold inside, wear a sweater. And then there's Classic Rock, which is the shotgun, and then a long-range rifle is High Hungry. High Hungry angry undead and that sort of thing. So that's a good gimmick character that I'm enjoying. Evening, Logan. Yes. Yes, you might have, my ears might have perked up on that one, huh? Oh. There we go. So, this game has the distinction of being the Legacy of Kain game that has the, I feel, most flexible, solid combat out of all of them. It feels the most Devil May Cry-ish, which is kind of where I feel like Soul Reaver 2 was going. Maybe Devil May Cry kind of refined expectations.
Choice whether to rule a corrupt and failing empire, or to challenge the fates for another throw, a better throw against one's destiny. What was a king to do? Does one ever truly have a choice? One can only match, move by move, the machinations of fate, and thus defy the tyrannous stars.
I love it. One can only match move for move the machinations.
So I returned to the sanctuary of my enemy, the fortress of the Sarafan Brotherhood, deemed impossible for any man to penetrate. Impossible for any man. Deep within these walls, my prey awaited. Mobius, the time streamer, deceiver and eternal gamester, using living beings as his pawns.
In the end, we'd rooted out an entire nest of the fiends.
But we had swept that area already.
Not well enough, but no matter. We purged every last one of that brood with fire.
Oh, is it quiet for you? Crank up the volume. If so. Space Hamlet, how is it for you?
It was time for Mobius to answer a few questions. I hoped for his sake to find him in a forthcoming mood.
It is a little quiet on my headset too. I didn't know if that was just the TV volume. Oh. But yeah, if the volume is quiet for others, then I will gladly. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, cool. Well, unfortunately, given the time that we have, don't have a whole lot of time for troubleshooting, but I will make a point of doing that for developing it further. Yeah, no, I know that Blood Omen 2 exists, and I have not played it. Fortunately, from my recollection, that Blood Omen 2 was not necessarily required to understand what's going on in Defiance, so fortunately. Yeah, this is where it starts out with sort of like early game Dante abilities from Devil May Cry. You can got kind of an air raid. Air raid is lightning stuff. Anyway, you've got like an air combo. Got the telekinesis. It also starts with fixed camera angles, which is new and interesting. And it also lets me go into first-person view, should I need to inspect further. So, those are all pretty marked departures from the way the game has been pursued previously. And you can adjust the camera from wherever it happens to start. I'm very happy that you start out with Kain. It's really cool after all this time to kind of see Kain back in action. Oof, that's a hell of a time for the pause screen to show up. Oh, cool! I can lock on and telekinesis him. These are not doors. Wow, you got a good old-fashioned street dumpster in Noskov. Okay, cool. Kain has... I remember one of the criticisms launched at the game was that Kain and Raziel did not have sufficiently distinct combat styles. And I can see that, because basically all of Raziel's powers from Soul Reapers 1 and 2 are given to Kain, just using different justifications for his vampirism. But it is very interesting to see how they have evolved. I mean, you can call it... samey gameplay, but I think if you were to kind of take that from a narrative point of view, it would show that, you know, Raziel has gone his own path to arrive at a point equal to Kain, which is, of course, his arc of growth, while retaining his special Razielness of being just a little gullible, kind of in a very snake way. Yeah, he's constant damage over time. That's also something that Raziel does to, like, his corpse form in this plane is constantly taking damage. Like how Kain just does not have the time of day for for handles or knobs of any kind. Oh, that's a good stalk right there. There we go. Yeah, the music seems to have the more of the ambience from Soul Reaver 1, without being entirely the same kind of dynamic music that it was there.
From time to time, it is necessary to feed, and the unusual event of a feast prepared by the Sarafan must be savored.
And the irony of having your own enemies prisoners. This is very much not the enemy of my enemy is my friend. This is the opportunity afforded to my enemies is my advantage. Oh, that's cool. I actually did not expect that to happen. No, we are in final sequel land. Time has been rewritten. We have skipped over the events that were the result of that rewriting because they are not necessary to understand the ultimate fate of Kain's relationship to Raziel, and that is what this game ultimately brings to a close. Oh no, I think I wasn't clear. Like usually it's like if it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, you would think that anybody who the Seraphim has locked up would be their enemy. So if you like freed them, then they would be on your side. But Kain is very much not in the Kain is not in the business of looking for human allies. Kain is in the business of looking for a human lunch. Actually, there's something about the level design here and the feel of it that actually reminds me very much more of Blood Omen than Soul Reaver. Which is appropriate, because Kain. I'm just gonna leave these folks here in case I need feasts for later.
What was that?
The touch of water is like acid to a vampire. I had to find another way to pass.
And that is true, Logan. Oh. Curious multi-millennia architectural choice of the Seraphim to... And the vampires too, just to adorn their walls with spikes constantly. Ah, yes. This is a nifty camera angle. It's interesting that a difference that I'm also noticing is that this game is actually starting with an interior space, and I feel like the other games tend to start with larger open spaces as setting like the size of a world. Oh, cool. Okay, telekinesis regenerates automatically. I mean, there are enough prisoners here to satisfy, like, my gamer's OCD desire to have my health at 100% at all times, even if I'm just like 2 HP away.
This passage undoubtedly led to the time streamer. My prey was nearly in my grasp. But the door had been sealed by a blessed barrier. As I approached, the Reaver resonated in response. Perhaps its dark sorcery could dispel these holy barriers. As I suspected, the Reaver was not yet powerful enough to shatter these barriers, but there was something to this.
So I've got to make that sword stronger, break that barrier. It might have. I remember, I think even if Soul Reaver 1 started with an interior, I think it was like a very large interior, so it felt cavernous and open. But suitably underworldy. Oh, that's high comedy. Man, the Seraphim just can't stop putting humanoids on spikes, can they? That's just like their brand. Good times. Also, I mean, I understand that if gridded bars is all you got, that's what you got to use. But still, not the most effective trap for a vampire lord. Oh, hey, this courtyard. I remember this from the previous game. So this is, I think, the same Seraphan stronghold, just rendered a little bit differently that showed up in Soul Reaver 2. That's right. Whoop. Okay. Anything here? No. Okay, yeah, this is where Raziel ultimately fought two of his brothers in their Seraphan forms. I know it's a denial effect, but oddly gratifying. Also, kind of, because of the Devil May Cry gameplay similarities, kind of halfway expect a hand to kind of reach out of that thing and meow. Hold R1 for health? Is there somebody, is there a prisoner nearby? Huh. That sounded like it broke something, which is not the usual MO of a sacrificial victim, but alright. Bad cat. Whoa. Video game architects, just gonna leave a chasm here. Clearly the Moat Builders Union won out over the bridge builders. Oh, there we go. That's the bridge. Making me eat my words as I say them. Is there something I can TK here to drop that? Okay. Alright, so a few different ways forward. I've got these two doors, neither of which I can open. I've got that drawbridge, which is clearly going to be significant at some point. What is this? Oh, I bet I have to find a sword and a shield and put it in this dude's hands, and then we have access to those doors. Arcane tone? What's arcane tone? Oh, cool! I can save game anywhere, which is welcome. Given the time constraints, I'm very glad they went back to that sort of, what I think of as a Western PC convention, Western PC game convention from the aughts, rather than the sort of more, what I think of as Japanese design of having fixed save points. That just might be a testimony to the kinds of games that I played most of, rather than distinct design approaches. Let's see, can I cannot. Hold on one second. Somebody would like to say hello. Clearly, based on the knocking she's doing on the door, now she's had her chance to say hello. She's going to say goodbye. Because I'm sure he has been much missed. Here's our big guy. Here's our big fella. Evening, Iceman Dan. It's good to see you. he too has been chilling out, and he's actually been claiming this room for his own over the past couple of weeks. This chair has I've actually had to put a towel down over it because I will frequently come to it and find it covered in a layer of black and white fur, which is not the color it is sold by IKEA. So here's a good guy. So thank you, sir, for gracing us with your presence. He does, in fact, covet the streamer's throne, and is, let's be honest, acknowledging, even if only to himself, that he is running the show. There's something very nice about the framing here. I kind of wonder if I can... Excuse me. Oh, I do want these on. Oh, weird. It's weird that they tell you... That implies that there would be more than English subtitles. But I kind of wish I could take the HUD off here, because that would be just very, very nice framing, I think. Well, he missed you too. Tells me about every day. It's like, poke, poke, when are you going to stream? I'd like to see my adoring audience. Poke, poke. Is this another? Reaver must be enhanced first. Okay, so that's the first obstacle I ran into. Have I been down here? Yes, this is where I came from. Oh, nifty. Can I go through here? Cannot. I seem to remember a few doors back that there were areas to explore that I did not take advantage of. Let's push forward a little bit more here. The earlier Soul Reaver games have made me wary of too much exploration, because often I have found that the answer was, in fact, very close to the problem itself. What? Ah! Oh, cool! You can TK them. Oop. What? Somebody die? Just coincidental misfortune. Very clumsy Seraphan. Oh. Whatever I did, I want to do it again. Oh, cool, there we go. Oh! Oh, was he inside that? Cool. It's great to see Kain's strength. You can just like pick up a whole damn man by the shoulder and just throw him away like a milk carton. That is how I drink milk out of the carton. I don't know about the rest of you.
Locked. What a love of doors these pathetic humans have.
All right, this is the this is Mobius's This is where the Reaver was held in Soul Reaver 2, I remember, and where Raziel borked time. So there should be the mural of Kain killing William here. Oh, cool. Alright, so there's a big blood splurt. That means that he's at death's door. Oh, that's really cool that there are like 3 different ways I can absorb the blood from them. And it is also neat that they took the Reavers. They're taking advantage of the Reaver's function as a vampiric blade and incorporating that into a mechanic that is sort of more general. That's cool. Yeah, maybe if it's like a... No, that's werewolves. I was thinking a silver-tipped arrow.
This emblem was unmistakably of vampire origin and designed to enhance the Reaver's power. But this coincidence seemed too convenient. Mobius clearly meant for me to find it.
Sound the alarm!
Vampire!
Don't let him escape!
Surround him! Surrender, fiend, and we will promise you an easy death.
I could promise you the same, but it would be a lie.
That's great. Scorch. Oh wait, no, that powers up the Reaver. Oh, okay, I get it. It actually is a different mechanic. Oh, cool. That's what I'm trying to do. So when I stab him with the Reaver, that just powers up the Reaver. Okay. It just is also a cooler death animation. Awesome. So I should be able to open this door now, right? Knock?
This barrier had a curious resonating effect on the Reaver.
Cool. Oh, no! Huh. So, if I... That's interesting. If I knock it, if I kill it with the sword, then there's nobody inside. I'm trying to do my TK on this thing. Why is it not? There we go. But yeah, if I use telekinesis, then I can pull this dude out of it. Oh, no! Okay, there we go. I'm trying to look cool here. Scorch. That's a very good crunchy sound. I keep getting lock on and blood absorption confused. Yes, I agree. Here we go. Being caught on fire and then beaten by a vampire, it's just Seraphan way to go.
This door had been equipped with a singular lock, requiring an unusual key. Somehow, I would find it.
And yeah, no, that's definitely your freshman hazing post in the Seraphan. Alright, Craig, into the wooden cylinder. You know the deal. Can't get out until you're a sophomore. And the splinters, oh my god. Oh, cool! You just kind of bounced off Kain there, and that's kind of cool, and I want to do that again. Chomp. So very good that they have like an apple crunching sound effect on Kain's biting into some dude's jugular. Yeah! Received cadaverous laceration. Status screen for details. Oh, is that a special move I just got? By performing it? If that is so, then I approve, and this is a very vampire-y way to do things, because I remember one of the things that's really neat about Symphony of the Night is that you can buy scrolls to unlock Alucard's magic spells, but you also unlock them if you just perform them, because apparently Alucard just happens to know them and you don't. So, yeah, if you just perform it, then you got it. Let's see, where was the... Destroy the Blessed Barriers.
Cadaverous laceration.
Say the words? Okay. So I'm guessing that means press toward and square. Okay, I see. Yes, likewise. How do I leave? There we go. Oh, this just gives me a way up. Gotcha. One does hope, Iceman Dan, that they are put in those posts in response to Kain's arrival and not just indefinitely, but you never know. Seraphan trying very hard there to replicate the stylish murals of the angelic vampires of days yore. Not quite achieving the same effect, but still cool looking. I like the eye. Has a very Egyptian feel. Oh, cool. This is kind of like what is it? Is it Dante has a move like this? Oh, okay, it's a toggle, not a hold. That's what I've been doing wrong. Evening, Viper. It's good to see you. Interesting that they're putting the tutorial here now after I've had a chance to kind of flub about with it a little bit. Almost kind of reminds me of the attack dummies from Vagrant Story. Million stab. Not quite a poet, Dante, but it does the job, right? Not the same as cadaverous lacerations. Oh, that's neat. Well, let's try that again. Thank you, Viper. I'm not sure what the regularity is going to be, but we're going to do it as we can. I've got a hard out in about 40 minutes, so I think we're probably going to be able to get through the tutorial tonight, but we'll slowly but surely make our way through. Okay, that's cool. Really feel like they're taking full advantage of oh, I see. They're taking much fuller advantage of what the PS2 can do graphically with this than they did with Soul Reaver 2. Lift, jump, slam, smash. Lift, jump, and midair TK blast. Oh, I see. I have to do it pretty quickly afterward. I agree. I remember being... I appreciate why MGS3 is this way, but I remember after seeing MGS3 running at 30 FPS, as opposed to MGS2 60, I remember feeling like it was like a weird step back, but with as much as they had going on graphically with MGS3, it totally makes sense. Oh wait, did I train both of them? Or just the one? Oh. Oh. Huh. Oh, that's no good. Very awkward, somebody just spraying their jugular at you. Is that the drawbridge? I think it must be. Cool, now I can backtrack. I mean, obviously it is a drawbridge, but is it the drawbridge is the question I'm asking myself. Yeah, it is. That was actually the reason why I used the HD collection MGS3 for the Foxhound rank walkthrough video. Gonna misjump my way forever. So this is now open? Oh, that was always open. Okay. It is a shame about the PS3. I was very sad to see that Tokyo Jungle was already removed from the PSN store even before, you know, the ability to purchase new games comes offline, and that is very sad to me that that game is no longer available in English through a legitimate means. I think that people can play it on an emulator, on a PS3 emulator, but as far as I know, that is the only platform where Tokyo Jungle is available in English legitimately. So knowing how prices jump on little obscure gems like that after the fact, I actually went ahead and nabbed a copy of the Japanese disc version, so I can at least have a copy to play in some form at some time later. It kind of makes me wish I had encouraged people to go out and buy the English version sooner than I did, because when I did, it was too late. Alright. So this brings us back here. That closes the drawbridge, or that opens the drawbridge, so I should be able to go back and break down at least one more barrier. Oh, wait, that door closed behind me. So wait, what's my path forward? Destroy the blessed berries, right? Yep. Are there other doors I'm missing? This one's locked. Alright, maybe there was something I missed. So the loss of Tokyo Jungle is a particular loss for the overall many-faceted Deltahead project, because Tokyo Jungle was the topic of the podcast's first episode. So, extra bit of sadness there. I did not gain a key to this. I bet Mobius is behind that. Are these monster closets, or are these player doors? They are monster closets. Tokyo Jungle also has a pretty groovy soundtrack. I like it quite a lot. Alright, let's hop back up here. Oh, nope. Also, the only game where you can control a pack of house cats and destroy a velociraptor. Which, I believe, we can all agree we need more of. There we go. Oh, that's just a secret. Just a secret. You're right. Yeah, the what did I just get? The preservation aspect is very, very disappointing.
Balance emblem.
Oh, he only says it once.
Cadaverous laceration.
Maybe he says it again.
Balance emblem.
Yeah. So that's my entrance. That's where I came in. Can I go through here? No, cannot. And yeah, I don't think games preservation is going to be saved by that, served by that very well. I think something that I think Nintendo showed with things like the like the Wii's Virtual Console is that there are a lot of people who will pay. Oh wait, this is the gate I just opened, and that lets me backtrack. Okay, I see what I did. So that actually closes the loop rather than forces me to backtrack. So that's smart. Yeah, something that I think the Wii showed us was that if you have like an iTunes store, like way for people to buy older games, that they will in fact pay money for it and enjoy playing it on a platform with official support, rather than have to go through the trouble of pirating it. And I would like to see that just that understanding better appreciated, because this is the sort of thing that I think does increase the likelihood of piracy. Something that is interesting is the amount that you heal from an enemy varies based on how long you hold down the drink button. So I'm gonna hold it down here. I just get a ton of blood from that guy. And now I just grab him and throw him away like somebody who opens up a pop top and throws away the can without even drinking the Sprite. Stylish mid-air feed. I love it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The vintage, the collector's market will definitely be the best place to get the full experience of those games here forward. My door should be over here. Oh!
Get him!
Oh, I love Kay's maniacal laugh. You can just feel that this guy was the villain of a previous game. Is this? Yes, it is. Bonk. One thing I will say about the level design in this game is I am much more clearly oriented with where I need to go, and I also feel that I am exploring. So I feel like the level design of this series is coming to a very good landing place with Defiance compared to some of the things that I struggled with before. It's a very strange shift to go from, you know, mist form, sword dodging vampire savior lord to slapstick victim as the arrows bounce me around the hallway like a pinball. What's this? Go very carefully look down here and not lose my lunch. Yeah. I feel like Kain is probably my favorite edgy anti-hero. I mentioned this, I think I was talking about this with Swimmy on a previous stream, but his mastermindiness actually, he's one of the few characters of this type that manages to earn the sense that he deserves the arrogance that he possesses. He displays that to the player through the quality of the writing and the character. Rather than what a lot of games and a lot of stories kind of wind up doing, which is telling you that the character is a mastermindy, arrogant jerk that merits all of the, ego that he shows on display. And it doesn't work quite as well if you have to be told that rather than being sold on it through the character's execution and presentation. And they really do that. The combination of the writing, the overall story design, and also Templeton's performance just clinches that perfectly. And I gotta say, that is a candle that is nearly twice the circumference of a vampire lord's head, which is a lot of wax. Decades of earwax, that's right. That's what they're killing all the vampires for. I mean, have you seen like Vorador's ears? The wax that accumulates in those things? Definitely candle making material. Oh, cool! There's that idle animation you mentioned. Like he's tracking something. Can I? Yes! Smashable crates and barrels. Give. Oh man. Somebody went on lunch for these candles. Did not like those. interested, Space Hamlet, what your thoughts are on how soulsy the architecture and design in Defiance is hitting atmospherically, which is something that it's something that you remarked on from the previous games. Oh man, this looks like this is totally the kind of thing that you would have done as a kid if you were playing. You wanted to pretend you were doing like a giant long jump. You just kind of like tense and hold there for a second, which doesn't actually give you any additional momentum, but it feels like it should. Hop. Kain has absolutely no need to mess with that shifting back and forth between the material and spiritual worlds. Just a wrecking ball of a man there. Ooh, hello. Hidden by a camera angle. Ooh, boat. Oh, that's a nice boat reflection we got there. Is that? That's a very nice detail for something that could be easily missed. Well, the lantern's reflection is a little odd, but nonetheless, I like it. It's a quality craft. Well, when I say it's a good boat, I mean it's a good boat from a game tech perspective. In world, it might actually be a really bad boat, just prone to sinking. Yes, yes, Viper. I agree. I think that DMC is the direction that the gameplay from the previous games was going in the direction of, and maybe DMC kind of helped them to visualize what that should feel like.
The stage is set. You needn't linger in the shadows, Kain. It has been a long time, hasn't it?
No banter, Mobius. You know why I'm here.
Yes, Raziel. You sought to introduce your own pawn into this game, and now he's been swept from the board.
By your hand, I suspect. Where is he?
Perhaps you should ask, when? How humiliating it must be for you to come begging at my doorstep for
Enough wordplay.
Don't threaten me. You see, I have the upper hand. How remarkable that the great Kain should succumb to the scepter's power like any common vampire. Still so arrogant after all these years, thinking you've devised some brilliant plan. You know nothing. You have read the signs, but missed their meaning. You believe you are that myth of vampire prophecy, the scion of balance, and that Raziel holds the key to fulfilling your destiny. But your messianic delusions have blinded you to Raziel's true nature. You have no idea what you've unleashed. There was a time when you might have heeded wise counsel when it was offered. Now, your vanity has made you witless. You will have to learn the truth for yourself. You'll be needing this. Your strength will return after I have departed. But by then, you will have more urgent concerns than pursuing me. Perhaps When we next meet, you will have learned a little humility.
There's a couple of interesting things about that whole dynamic there.
These strange creatures seem to manifest from the very shadows.
One of them being that, unlike with Raziel, this is both combatant and mastermind that Mobius is dealing with, which is, Kain's role. And it's like Mobius is treating Kain as though he is like Raziel. So it's like mastermind to pawn.
Mobius's attempt at stopping me was not one of his better efforts. When I found him, it would be my turn to offer a few surprises.
But it doesn't totally work because Kain doesn't have pawn energy, which Raziel, scrappy as he is, kind of keeps up.
Surrender, Raziel. Abandon this petty rebellion.
They've been at this for like millions of years.
It was I who made you. Your life had played out, and in my grace, I spared you. You are my reaper of souls. You have no other purpose, no higher destiny. Just this. Accept your calling, Raziel. Let go of these vain hopes. Relinquish your will and feed.
No.
What do you profit from this defiance?
There's some grim satisfaction in infuriating you.
Constant teenager.
My patience is eternal, Raziel. How many eons can you bear to languish here? The wheel of fate must turn. All are redeemed in the cleansing agony of birth, death, and rebirth. This is the engine of life, the purifying rhythm of the universe, to which all souls are irresistibly drawn. Yours is a necessary and noble function, Raziel.
Enough of your sermonizing. Are you trying to bore me into submission? Why must this game go on? We both know what you are. You're no better than the vampires you so despise. A voracious parasite, cloaking its appetite in a shroud of righteousness. I refuse to do your will.
I can see into your heart, Raziel. It is not your will, but cowardice that keeps you here.
How so?
You know what fate awaits you when you leave the underworld. That phantom weapon you bear is a constant reminder, isn't it? The sword is waiting for you out there somewhere, and you tarry so as not to meet it.
I could not deny it. As long as I lingered here, defying my captor, I was able to postpone what I feared was my inevitable doom. To become the ravenous spirit imprisoned in the Reaver Blade. But that sentence was no worse than the stalemate I now endured. Better to face one's destiny than cower from it.
Harvester of souls, I created you. And to this function, my angel of death, you will return.
This is Tony J?
Enough. Yes, I submit.
Very good. Indulge your hunger. Yes, embrace your calling, Raziel. You will find that just as defiance has its price, so obedience has its rewards.
And submission is not always what it seems.
That was an accident, but it's kind of perfect just to have that TK blast right at the lower half of Mobius's pupil. Let me catch up here. Yeah, no, the staff stopping him. I actually think that they do explain that later in this game. There is a reason why Kain clutches his heart, and I think that comes full circle later in the game. But I don't want to spoil that, and I also might be misremembering. Yeah, Peacher. Raziel is so good. So angsty. But he's angsty in a way that is a little more than a, not quite JRPG angsty. And so I appreciate that, having much more exposure to the JRPG angst. Submission is not always what it seems. Stumble around for like 20 minutes. Yeah, the sobbing is atmospherically distressing. They made the underworld feel much more underworldy here. Though I wonder, so Raziel has kind of a Reaper function for the Elder God. But surely the Elder God has got to have other Reapers out there. Something that is, yeah, they made this much more platformy in a way where you don't have Raziel sort of like crouch walking on the ground to get close to an edge so he can make a good jump. It's a much smoother transition between jumping and gliding. So there's not the brief animation and the sound effect of like the fabric of the shattered wings blooming out. About to kill his god and his dad. No, you're right. I mean, the one thing that he has as a saving grace that makes it not a JRPG is that those two are not the same person. They are in fact at odds with each other. So, he's got that going for him. The proper JRPG would be eject.
Below me swirled an ominous-looking mist. I knew that if I fell, it would mean my peril.
Well, that's new. As an element. Is this, No, this just happens to look like the place where Raziel was thrown into the pit. Oh, the other Reapers? Oh, okay. Oh, Raziel can now climb things in the spirit realm.
Do you believe your worthiness is so easily proved? Your way is sealed until you have offered further evidence of your obedience.
I must feed you before I depart this place.
You must feed yourself, Raziel.
The wheel must turn.
Now you are.
Elder's God's got like a backlog of souls he's been meaning to clean out forever. Finally, his vacuum cleaner's out of the shop. No! Definitely thought I was going to make that jump better than I did. Yeah, the voices are talking. Oh wow, Raziel's got a much more shaky feeding animation there. Raziel did basically say you can't make me. Is that just the camera shaking, or is that the actual platform? Well, I think it's inconsequential either way. Can I... Also seems that unlike... Oops. unlike the other games where if I just open my mouth, food from anywhere in the level kind of flies toward it, I have to be within a specific range of a target for it to take effect. Which is why I have to get up here. Yeah, it's got that, it's got that sort of like Silent Hill 2 feeling of, there are certain ambient voice clips in Silent Hill 2 that kind of sound like words, but you can't 100% make it out. And so it is extra upsetting. How do I get up there? Oh, no, 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 no! Well, goodbye. No death, just rewind that reel. I do feel like that's a little bit of a missed opportunity. Alright, I gotta get up there. Maybe I can TK blast that eyeball and do something. Raziel, just by this point, is just completely inured to the sound of just eternal suffering. Right, maybe I have to approach that from another angle. Because I'm definitely going to need to get up there. Okay, I bet I have to go around that way. I see. Nope! Well, back to the loading screen. Logan, I imagine it's probably like living next to an interstate. You know, after a few months, you just start to tune it out. Yeah, there we go. Gobble. Whoop. Yeah, gotcha.
You may go. But remember, you are mine. You can no more escape from me than you can escape yourself.
Yeah, let me clear those out. Absolutely shotgunned the stream there. Seems like you would space those out a little bit more. Okay, so those are cleared out from chat on this end. Hopefully, it'll clear up from the record in the margin. I love Raziel's scamper. It could be the same sound effect that Kain uses, but it would always still be a scamper. I also like how Raziel's got a little bit more of an acrobatic spin to him. Kind of shows how comparatively light and insubstantial his physical form is. So when he does his air combo, his last one is kind of a spin. He's got that sort of like spinning strike there at the end of his combo. Oh, good. These things again. Oh, right. I forgot. I'm so used to thinking of these things as
You want this room cleared of its vermin.
standard monsters that I forgot that they serve the same role Raziel does in the underworld.
Your will be done.
My good son.
Ah, that is blissfully so much faster than the eating. I wonder if I can do the eating speed of the other games. I wonder if I can do the same move that I did with Kain. No? Looks like that special move is not available to Raziel. That's the last one.
You see? Obedience brings prompt rewards.
Let's see. It's probably going to lose its charge by the... Yeah, cool. I just wanted to see it once before the end of the stream, because I have a feeling its charge is going to be gone by the time I get around enemies again. This is a very interesting visual effect to make everything seem blurred in the underworld. This feels more underworldy than it has in the previous entries.
Where do you think you're going, little soul?
Oh! Race to the top of the chamber. Ah!
You can't escape. Raziel.
No, 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 no! Please. Ah. I can tell this one is going for a much more... I mean, the level design is much more straightforward. The storytelling is more straightforward. And that is to the advantage of the experience, I think, because I am much less confused about where to go. The only downside to that is it does take away, as far as a narrative design way that... As far as the way that the narrative interacts with the gameplay, it takes away how they bind the death failure loop into the story. So previously, if you die, you're not really dead. You just get to try again as in a new corporeal form. But this time, it actually just does reset the entire world. So that's a little bit different, and in one sense, not as strong as the way it's handled in previous games.
Clearly my escape had not been anticipated, or my benevolent master would not have expended such efforts to prevent me from going. And if my departure displeased him, then that was a victory, however small, for me.
Raziel, just like 90% of his motivation in any given moment is sticking it to the man. No, you're right. He did lead you to this room. He just didn't expect you to do that. It is interesting. I wonder what direction he expected me to go, because I don't think I saw another direction he could go. Yeah. The stakes being higher. That is a very good point. That failure is in fact annihilation. I do feel like it kind of feels like there's kind of occupies a middle place.
This door would only open when fitted with an appropriate artifact. But to use such an object, I would first have to find a way back into the material realm.
Gotta to use a key in that their physical world. But yeah, no, it kind of has this sort of middle place of lacking the final gut-wrenching impact of an actual death versus so it's like the old games where you don't feel like this like visceral impact of dying because it's just a restart, but at the same time you are apparently actually failing consequentially, so there's not the death animation like Snake's that lets you know that like you actually screwed up for good. Is Raziel doing a kind of a... Raziel has a sort of a dirt tracing thing he does too, except instead of sort of sifting it for clues, he just kind of dashes his claw across the ground like he just lost a game of tic-tac-toe. Let's see. Well, it is 11 o'clock, which is the time that I turn into a pumpkin, so I need to head off, but fortunately we can save the game at any place, and that is very welcome. Yeah, Logan, that's exactly it. It has the sort of like sort of oomph of your score is 15 out of 140. You can start again. So thanks for coming out, everyone, and look forward to still, like I said, kind of figuring out what schedules look like right now. Shorter streams, but hopefully more regular. If you keep an eye on the Twitter, the Deltahead Twitter, and also mine at Alegian. I might also do some very, very loose, like no voice, no video kind of streams on Adelegian, which is my personal channel, independent of this at like 4 a.m. because I'll be up. And yeah, that might be on and off. Anyway, have a good night, and I look forward to seeing everybody again. Peacher, Viper, Hamlet, Logan, and Iceman Dan. Have a great night, and hope to see you all soon.